Y'all ready? Okay, good. All right. All right, y'all ready to get started? Okay, let's talk about Think Digital. My name is Jason Caston, author of the iChurch Method, spokesperson for AT&T's Faith and Technology campaign. You can go to the next slide. Before I get started, as I'm leaving up the ways you can get connected with me today, this whole presentation I'll give to you at the end. I'll let you know exactly how you can get it at the end. So I know a lot of people trying to take notes while I'm talking. I'm going to give you a lot of stuff. But real quick, let me ask, first of all, how many priests in here, church leaders, have ministry? Okay, cool. How many business owners, kings in here? Okay, great. I'm going to jump back and forth when I'm talking about my presentation day, when I'm talking to a priest and the kings. But let me step back. 2006, my mentor, who's actually here over there, Henry Abraham, brought me to this conference, and I was sitting out there like y'all, learning, soaking up all the information that I could. I think it was 2006, 2007. But it was great 10 years later to bring them here. And, you have somebody who's sowing your life. Find a mentor, somebody who will sow into your life, somebody who will pour into you, somebody who will encourage you when you're trying to figure out and make decisions at each point of your life and these things that are going on, because you never know. Maybe he'll take you somewhere, and then 10 years later, Henry, you can come watch me. I'm on stage now, bruh. Okay? All right. Let's talk about this. Okay, Think Digital. So let's go to the next slide. What I came up with is a methodology, 5-part methodology on how you can advance your organization online, no matter what your organization is. The 5 parts are websites, multimedia, e-commerce, social media, and mobile. These are 5 different areas that you focus on to grow your organization online. Now, again, I'm talking about a digital strategy. I'm not talking about just social media. Social media is a piece of the pie, but that's not the whole meal. I'm giving you a digital strategy under a digital umbrella that will talk about each of these areas, while social media will play an important part, because I know a lot of you think when they start talking about digital, or this guy's going to come up here and talk about social media, it would be amiss of me to only give you social media and not talk about all the other aspects of a digital strategy. For example, your organization should have a website. Website is not social media. Website is something on its own. I got to talk about mobile. How many of y'all here have mobile devices with you? Exactly. So if I want to reach you, or my organization wants to reach you with the message, I need to reach you on the devices that you all are carrying around with you. It's great to reach you on social media, but also there are other mobile strategies that you can implement and utilize as well, and we are going to talk about that. Okay, next slide. Now, let's talk about the goals for today. I want to teach you key areas that we focus on for a digital presence, okay? I want to give you the tools and instructions to be able to go and implement them. That's why at the end of this, I want to give you the books that I'm teaching from today, which is the iChurch Method, as well as Social Connections, my social media book. I want to give you a couple videos and stuff. All that stuff you will get, those ebooks and stuff, when I give you the link to go to at the end, because I want you to have something tangible to take away from this presentation. I know that a lot of times people come to conferences, they get excited, they learn a lot of stuff, people pouring them, and then 2 days later they don't know what they learned. They don't remember it. But if I give you tangible stuff like this presentation that I'm going to go through, like the ebooks that I have and written, and everything else I just want to give away for free to you all, I want you all to have this so you can implement this. One, if you want to be a tech geek like me and my friends and go and implement yourself, by all means, go do it. But 2, when you are talking to consultants or other digital specialists that are coming to build these things for you, I want you to have educated, well-informed conversations so that when they start throwing those big words at you, they're not trying to take advantage of you. Okay, everybody don't have integrity, but if you're able to talk to them on their level, then when they start talking about you need this, this, and this, and here's the exorbitant price that they throw out there, you'll be like, nah, bro. Nah, that ain't quite how it works. I saw Jason's presentation. Matter of fact, don't make me pull out that ebook. I'm telling you, that's not how this is going to work. Okay? Now, and then lastly, I'm going to talk about a lot of important strategies and methodologies today and different things that of way to reach people today. But I also am going to talk about what's coming in the future. Because again, if we come back to this conference next year, a lot of the things that I'm talking about will still be relevant. There'll be new things that have come along. There'll be new things to implement. Technology continues to evolve. Every 6 months, there's something new out and a new way that you can reach people. And I want to be able to help you understand and see what's coming and get your businesses and organizations ahead of the curve, as opposed to always playing catch up and trying to figure out, what are these new things coming out and how is this new gadget supposed to work and how can I utilize it? And yet you see some young tech geek utilize it and become a multimillionaire. So, all right. Now, when we're looking at the way things are going, it's just the method that continues to evolve. But the message is what the most important part. So let me talk to my priest for a second. When we talk about the message has been the same for thousands of years. The message is life-changing. The message is impactful. The message is important. But anybody in here got stone tablets? No? No stone tablets? No scrolls? Papyrus? Nothing? Exactly. See, when we start talking about the message is still the same, but the method has continued to evolve. Now we have mobile devices. Now we have pads and tablets as far as how we can reach people and how we look at and how we connect with and read our messages. Pastor Groeschel was up here talking about YouVersion, the Bible app. So that didn't talk about he didn't talk about anything as how he affected the message of the Bible. He just talked about a new method and how it was delivered. Okay, so for my kings, you have to figure out what is your message and why is it important to your audience. And then you have to figure out what is the most effective method to market that message. And that's the way that we continue to look at the message versus the method and not let the method ruin the message. All right, y'all with me? Yes. Okay, cool. Now, let me give you a quick example. If we look at, how many of y'all got kids? Okay. When I used to go to the mall, when my kids would act up, I would give them a tablet. My phone, mobile phone, something to keep them quiet. They would take it, swipe, figure out how to get to their favorite app, play Angry Birds, and they were quiet. Get to Netflix, watch their favorite cartoon, they were quiet. But here's the key thing you got to take away from that. This tablet, this mobile device, is the oldest technology that they'll see. This is Betamax to them. When they get to the age that we are in here, they'll laugh about mobile devices because they'll be talking about augmented reality and virtual reality and glasses and how they communicate as opposed to mobile devices that are being irrelevant or these type of devices that'll monitor every part of their body and their vitals as opposed to the phones that we carry around still trying to figure out. They'll see mobile devices in museums. I'm like, those were cool back in the day. My parents used to give them to me to keep me quiet. And so the reason I'm saying that is it's not about, I want your message to be important, but I want to talk about the digital methods that we utilize and continue to help you understand that in order to continue to impact and grow your online audience, you have to understand that the methods will continue to evolve. So let's see how we can work with them. Now, keeping that in mind, there's over 3.7 billion people connected to the internet globally. All right, 5 billion mobile users, 2.8 billion users on social media. So every day there's new technologies and new platforms changing the way and evolving the way we communicate. But in order for your business, your organization to be effective, you have to have a digital strategy. Just putting up a website and hoping they find it is not going to work. Let me take it to the offline space, because I got to give you offline examples to help you understand online impact. If we look at, for my priest out here, when you put a church up, if you had a church in a school, you wouldn't just go start having church and not tell anybody. You'd have a marketing strategy. You'd have a way to tell people, either go out in the community and tell them, have flyers. You would have a strategy of how you would let people know about what's going on. But when it comes to the digital space, a lot of organizations start throwing up stuff, whether it be social media pages, websites, and then you just think, well, there's billions of people online, they'll just find it, with no strategy. So when you fail to plan to fail. And so what I want to talk about today is the strategies that we utilize, but also the tools to implement what actually you can do. All right? Let's talk about actual strategy. Let me give it to you right now. From our priest. You can go back. From a priest, inspiration. Information, communication. Inspiration, information, communication. Inspire people. Your content should be inspirational. That's how you stay connected and grow your audience. Information. Information about your organization should be on the platforms that people are connected to you with. The platforms you utilize, whether social media, mobile, website, whatever platforms you utilize, the information should be there. Communication. Engage the people. They reach out to you on these platforms, talk back to them. 2 more, diversification. Don't put all your eggs in Facebook's basket. Actually, your website is the most important digital platform that you could have. More important than social media. And the last one is consistency. Be consistent. You would always be consistent in the offline space, and that's the same thing you should do in the digital space. Be consistent. Consistently put out content. Don't put up a page and think nobody's coming there and you're not even attending to it. That'd be like having a church service at your church. You have one service and never have another one and say the church not growing. You would understand that in the offline space, but in the online space, they're just not finding it because you're not giving them consistent content. Why do they need to come back? For my kings, it's the same for information, communication, diversification, and consistency, but instead of inspiration, for my kings, for your business, it's education. You need to educate them on why your product is important, why your services are needed. Just because you open up your business and start selling certain products, people do not know that they need it yet. You need to educate them. With my organization, I take the position of a thought leader. So I have to come in, whether I'm working with some large churches that you all are familiar with, some of your favorite pastors, or an organization like AT&T, I educate them on why they need to understand and utilize these digital platforms. Hence, the reason to write a book. It was just an educational tool. And I'll focus on churches for a second, because churches, more often than not, don't know what they don't know. They know how to do church very well, but church in the online space, that's a little different. Sometimes it's intimidating because they think the message or the method is not theologically sound with the method or the message. So somehow, if we do online church, it's not church in the traditional sense, because Jesus didn't go to church online. And it's like, that's not the case. We're just finding a better way, and I had to educate them and give them examples, give them offline examples of how they did church in the online space, and say these online church solutions and these digital platforms are coming to supplement, not supplant, the church experience. And that's what the digital platforms are for your business as well. They're coming to supplement your business, not supplant it, and give you more ways to connect with and grow your audience. But you have to educate them on why your stuff is important. So let's start with the first one, websites. Website is the most important digital platform that your organization has. 75% of new visitors check you out online before they step foot in your building, before they contact you, anything. 75%. And again, I give you, I give you these analytics and these numbers because I want that to back up what I'm saying. Now, I do want to give you my professional opinion. And I've been in meetings where opinions have been thrown around. But I'm telling you, when these numbers come out, numbers back up everything. If you don't hear anything else I say about websites, understand you need to install analytics and let numbers tell the story. Let numbers talk about how important the things are you need to do. You need to look at, for your website, go to the next one. What people are doing when they come to your site, what's the most important pages that they're clicking on. If you have Google Analytics on your site, it'll tell you what people click on, what they go to next, and when they actually leave your site. And the reason I'm saying that before I start talking about putting big shiny banners on there and all that type of stuff is because I need you to understand what are people doing when they come to your site. Not what you would do when you come, but your customers. What are they doing when they come to your site? Where are they going? Install Google Analytics and let analytics tell the story. But also you have to have a strategy in place as far as what are your goals for the website. When people come to your site, what do you want them to do? For this particular example right here, this is one church. I don't know if y'all got a chance to see PT and Sarah teach their session on millennials. But for this particular site right here, one of the key things that we wanted to do was the analytics showed one of the most important and most often visited things that people came to was the watch now, which was they wanted to watch a message. So video was driving a lot of the traffic. So we gave them a button to go there. If they don't want to go there, then we gave them a home button. They can enter the site, and then we start showing them other things that are going on within the ministry. And of course, the social media icons. But instead of the traditional website where you see those rotating banners, where you see like 6 or 7 banners, and nobody goes past the first one, we put one big image to show this is the type of people you'll connect with when you come to this ministry. So when I start talking about this digital strategy, I'm talking about how do you tell your story visually to pull people in? Because that's what you got to start looking at. Think about the way we used to communicate when we were younger. When our parents first started teaching us how to read, they gave us those See, Jane, Run books, Run, Jane, Run, small sentences, big pictures. That's how people's attention span are these days. 7 seconds is the average attention span of a human. 8 seconds is a goldfish. Think about that. I don't know how many goldfish y'all trying to reach, but if you're trying to reach humans, 7 seconds on average. So when you're thinking about how you're telling your story visually, you got to catch them quickly and pull them in. And so that's what we did with this imagery here. And then you're looking at also, when people are coming to your site, you can go to the next slide. What did you want them to do and how quickly can you get them there? Here we have this menu here, and we put the video up there because we know that people want to watch the video, but also put the key areas of the site that we want to get them to. This site is also mobile responsive. Go to the next slide. So one of the key things that we're looking at as far as when we're looking at your website is, one, does it load quickly on any device, mobile responsive? And quickly, I mean 2 to 3 seconds. For every 2 to 3 seconds your site doesn't load, you lose 50% of your audience. So if your site doesn't load in 3 seconds, you lost 50%. 3 more seconds, you lost 50 more percent. In 6 seconds, you lost 75% of the people that were trying to view your site. So when you have somebody building your site and you ask them, I need my site to load in 2 seconds, they need to be able to do that. If they can't, find someone who can. It's about short attention spans. And y'all know it because you've done it before where you went to a site and you didn't even care what was on the site because it took too long to load. Now, me being on the other side of that from a tech geek perspective, sometimes it's not always the site's fault. It's the person, and bad internet service, raggedy phone, whatever. It is what it is. But unfortunately, people don't care. Your site didn't work. End of discussion. And again, do you have analytics installed? That's the most important thing. That's the key thing that we're talking about. And lastly, 2 to 3 clicks. People need to get anywhere on your site in 2 to 3 clicks. I can't drill down enough about short attention spans. Get to your site anywhere in 2 to 3 clicks. Next slide. Let's talk about multimedia. Multimedia is online video. We know how important video is. We know how impactful video is. We know how viral video can go. All right? So we're going to talk about video, live streaming. Obviously, we know how important live streaming is on Facebook, and they give preference to it, so much so that, we had a very terrible event occur on Facebook Live that went viral just earlier this week. But again, that's how impactful video is. Whether it's showing something terrible or an online movement starting based on a video we saw that we would not have seen otherwise without social media or just the internet in general. Okay? For my priests, talking about internet church campuses and internet TV as well, and how everybody or any organization in here has the chance to be on internet TV. Go to the next slide. But the most important platform for video is YouTube. Google is the #1 search engine on the internet. The #2 search engine is YouTube. Google owns YouTube. Google runs the internet. End of discussion. Now, when we talk about YouTube, the thing about it is everybody knows how to load it. You load up a video and you hope people find it. Load up the video is good, hope people find it's bad. Here's a strategy you're looking at. Load up the video, and then you're looking at, you want them to be able to add a description that caters to the people looking for the video. What is the pain point that they're looking for, or the pain point that they have in their life, and how does that video solve that problem? Underneath that is a row where you put in tags. Again, Google runs YouTube. So you want to put these tags in because that helps people searching for these videos. You want to make it easier for people to find the content that you're putting out there. And the easiest way to do that is start adding these descriptions in that meet people where they're at with the pain points and the problems that they have, as well as these keywords in the tag field that provide it easier for your videos to come up in the searches that they're looking for. Additionally, anybody ever watch a video and at the end of the video or middle of the video, a box will pop up and say, click here to see more videos and stuff like that, whether you're on mobile or stuff like that? Right. That is called YouTube card. They used to call it YouTube annotations. It's called YouTube card. And basically what that is people are starting to guide people to what you want them to do when they're watching your videos. You don't want them to watch the video and just go away. That's a waste. Even though the information was good and they got the information, but what else can you get them to do? Yeah. Tell them. Would you like to watch more videos? Would you like to subscribe? Would you like to join our online community? Guide them to what you want to do. But see, you have to have a strategy for that. Because if you're just throwing videos up, then you'll just be happy that they watched it. But what is that? What type of return is that for you, for your business or organization or ministry? So if the analytics show that people watch your 4-minute video for 1 minute and 48 seconds, then once 1.5 minutes hits, you need to put that box up and say to watch more videos or join our community, click here. Don't put it up at the end. I mean, put it up at the end as well for the people who watch all the way, but the point is the analytics will show you how long on average people watch it. And if they're leaving after 1 minute and 48 seconds, then that box needs to show up before then. Because again, you're looking at the analytics to tell you the behaviors of the people that are watching your content. And not what you want to happen, but what's actually happening. And then you tell them what you want them to do after that. That's what the strategy does. All right, and then organize the videos into playlists. We're conditioned to watch stuff based on some type of organizational structure. Whether it be Netflix and the way that is set up, cable, or any type of internet TV or anything like that is set up in some type of either grid or some type of format that we can consume it. But when you have all these videos on on YouTube, and they're not organized in any way, it's harder to find them. So organize your stuff in the playlist. For this particular event, when they put these videos up on YouTube from last year, it said, Marketplace Conference 2016. So I know there I'm going to find all those videos, as opposed to having to go through all the videos the ministry put up and find the videos I'm looking for. Make it easy for people. Next slide. And then also, additionally, the videos you put up on YouTube, also put them up on Facebook. Don't put them up on YouTube and then share them on Facebook, because Facebook gives preference to videos that are loaded up natively. So put them on Facebook and organize them just like you did on YouTube. We know how hard it is to get stuff into Facebook's news feed. It's already a pay-to-play industry. But make it easier on yourself by putting stuff actually into Facebook, videos into Facebook, because Facebook video is the second largest video destination on the internet after YouTube. Traditionally, I used to say, maybe a couple years back, just put it on YouTube, share it on Facebook, people will see it, and that's no longer the case. Load it up on Facebook. Facebook has built their own video players and their own video channels in there to where you can grow your online audience on Facebook, because Facebook has, 1.87 billion users. Next slide. Now, for my priest in here, Internet Church Campuses. We saw Pastor Groeschel talking about Internet Church Campus yesterday. Internet Church Campus is an interactive, innovative, immersive, engaging online platform mimicking the offline church experience in the online space. And so this platform here, churchonlineplatform.org, is something they give away for free. So any ministry organization can have this online church platform and utilize it to create an online church campus for free. Again, all the features are built in, interactive Bible that he talked about, chat features, scheduling out the services, all that stuff is built in. Adding in your live streaming and all that type of stuff is added into this online platform. And again, it's free. Next slide. Now let's talk about internet TV. I was in a meeting probably about 3 weeks back, maybe about 3 months, and an organization was talking about how much it costs to broadcast on TBN. It was $30,000 a week. So, but you couldn't get accurate stats on how long people watched, how many people were watching, and what they did after they watched, as well as demographics on who's watching and stuff like that. But internet TV has now given you the opportunity to do that for a fraction of the cost. And I'm talking about as low as free, if you want to build the channel yourself, up to about, $500 to actually have the channel built for you and put on these platforms. So, and we know that people are cutting cable and moving to these new platforms. We all love and watch Netflix. We like that. And we all starting to see how cable charges you $381 for 500 channels and you only watch 6. So, on top of that, they want you to watch it live. Well, my schedule doesn't work for live. I need to watch TV when I want to watch TV. And the reason I'm telling you all this stuff that I'm talking about, whether it's social media, whether it's a website or any of this stuff, is because people have an internet that's catered and customized to them now. You don't believe me? The political cycle that we just saw, depending on who you agree with, is what showed up in your news feed. So that gave you the opportunity to only see people that you agree with, and you never saw anybody else's side, so the Facebook arguments were on an epic level. Likewise, your Google search results, if me and you search for the same thing, I will get different results from you based on my past search history. So now the internet is basically catered to me and my world and what they think I want. The reason they do that is they give me what they think I want, they have my attention longer, they show me more ads, they make more money. So now if we're talking about reaching people where they're at, who have an internet experience that's customized and catered to them, then now you have to understand that you have to utilize whatever platforms they're on, because they're not coming to you anymore. They're not coming to find your business. They want you to bring your stuff to them. Show them why it's important, educate them on why it's important, and then you get them to buy in and become a part of your online community. So back to this internet TV thing. Roku has 10 million users, Apple TV 40 million, Amazon Fire has 2 to 5 million, PlayStation 4, which PS View has about 80 million, and Google Android TV has between 7 and 10 million. So we're talking about, and this is constantly, continually growing. And this is stuff that if you have this video content already within your organization, or if you start to develop it to tell your story visually, then these are platforms that you can utilize and reach more people on. The thing is, it's not that a lot of organizations don't do it, they just don't understand it and they think it's cost prohibitive or somehow it's too techy to get on there, and it's not. The internet and a lot of these platforms has given us any organization the opportunity to compete on a global level, utilizing the same thing they see these corporations doing that they pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for, you could do for hundreds of dollars. The problem is they don't come to stuff like you all came to and have somebody that can tell you how to do it. I've done it for organizations who are multi-billion-dollar organizations. I've done it for mom and pop churches that y'all will never hear of. But that playing field is the same. It's just about you taking advantage of the opportunities that you're given. Next slide. All right, e-commerce. Talk about this real quick. 2 things. 1, it has to be easy. Easy. Anything you do in e-commerce, whether you're making digital products or whether you're taking online donations, mimic Amazon. 2 steps, 3 tops. Likewise, make sure it's secure. As an organization, if you have an online store, use a service like Shopify or something like that. Do not store credit cards. Do not do anything like that. Don't utilize any of that. You just want to make sure that your stuff is easy and secure. And also figure out ways to develop digital products. For me, it's great to write a book. It's great to have a tangible book to pull it out and say, hey, I wrote a book. It's much better to have an ebook that I can give away to everybody in the room at the click of a button, as opposed to having to call my publisher, say, hey, I need you to send me so many books, get it here on time, and I got to make sure I give everybody a book and have an accurate count because I don't want to leave anybody out. Because if everybody don't get a book, nobody gets a book. So that's why you look at digital products, because 1, after you create it, after that, it's all profit. Next one. And I talked about this. Next one. Talk about it, get it easy. All right, let's talk about social media. All right, more people can be reached right where they're at. Make sure it's interactive conversation, and one of the most important connection points for the organization. All right, everybody's on social media, we understand it. Okay? Go to the next one. Social media has over 2 billion social media users. Facebook having the lion's share of that, 1.86. As you see, Facebook owns Instagram, has 600 million. I put a plus at the end of all these numbers because y'all know these numbers are huge. Again, YouTube has 1 billion plus. Is because the number of social media users when we walked in here is going to be, it was less than when we walk out. It's always growing, continuously growing. Social media is not going anywhere. So much so that Mark Zuckerberg announced this week that social media is going virtual. That's where they're trying to go within the next 5 years. They introduced Facebook Spaces, where they put on these virtual reality Oculus devices, and they were interacting in the virtual space. So stuff that you see like the holodeck on Star Trek that we used to see back in the day, Star Trek Next Generation, that stuff is happening. So again, that's why I'm saying everything I'm talking to you about today, I'm trying to give you strategies to utilize the platforms that we talk about today, but I got to tell you about the future, because if you don't get ahead of that, then we'll be left behind again. If you don't understand augmented reality and virtual reality, Internet of Things, self-driving cars, and wearables, and how your organization can reach people utilizing those devices, then you'll be left behind when those things start to take off. Next one. Well, let's talk about a strategy for social media. Now, which networks get result? All of them if you can use them effectively. But the point is coming down to what type of organization, what type of strategy do you want to utilize? Because again, you have to visually tell your story and you have to pay to play. It used to be where you could utilize a lot of organic stuff and grow an organic following, and stuff goes viral organically, but that's because they utilize key influencers that have large audiences to reach people, and then you start to see a movement grow. But again, when you're talking about something that you want people to see, and you need them to see something that's quickly and effectively, then you have to pay to play. The same way you would do an offline event. If you want to have an offline event within a week and you want to get people here, then you start looking at strategies of reaching people and telling them, I need you to come here, and how you have an investment and a budget for that. Same thing in the online space. You need a budget for that, and don't think that boosting is somehow taking money out your pocket because you used to be able to use social media for free. That was the point, to let you use it for free, to get you in there. There's a reason Mark Zuckerberg is a billionaire multiple times over, because they have over 1 million advertisers on Facebook. It's a pay-to-play industry. Don't let anybody tell you different. Next one. Again, additionally, when you're looking at telling your story visually, look at how people consume it on the go. Okay? Your content has to be able to be consumable on the go. Everybody's not looking at it in front of a laptop. Very few people are. 71% of users consume social media on the go, just like you all are. Just like you all do. When this is over, you pull out your phone, you catch up. If not, looking at your phone while you're looking up here. And I don't get offended. I've seen people speak. I don't put my phone down. It doesn't leave my hand. So I'm just telling you now. I feel uncomfortable with nothing in my hand at the moment. I'm just telling you. Go to the next one. So when you're looking at your strategy, I want you to figure out, have a social media strategy. Figure out who will manage it all. If it's you, then fine. You manage it all, and then who's your audience? And what type of story do you want to tell with that content? Because people buy into stories. They buy into things that they connect with. They buy into things that resonate with them. They buy into things that help uplift them. And then let's go to the next one. All right. Here's the order. When you're starting your social media strategy, you're starting out. First, your Facebook page. Then go to Instagram. I used to say Twitter was second, but I'm not sure Twitter's going to last. Outside of our leader of our nation utilizing Twitter for an inordinate amount of reasons. I don't even get into that because they're recording this and broadcasting it. But the fact is, just Twitter is not generating the ROI for the business that it used to, so it's not as effective, plus the users are not on there as like they were before. But Facebook, Instagram, then YouTube. People neglect YouTube because they don't think they have the video content. It's not about them not having the video content. It's finding out what content you're already utilizing it and how can you put it in a video format and get it out to people. Everything doesn't have to be a 5-camera, multi-shot production. Some people just want that authentic. That's why live it seems to be taking off. The stuff with live, they want to see the authentic you. They want you to talk about what your organization is about. And we should talk about what your ministry is about. Outside of the midweek and weekend services. All right, Twitter, then Snapchat and Pinterest. Snapchat if you're trying to reach the young kids. They've added a lot of features to Instagram and Facebook, Instagram stories, Facebook stories, trying to take out Snapchat. They're not going to take out Snapchat. Reason being, because the young kids love Snapchat, and they don't want to be where us old folks are at. So they basically took those young kid features, and Facebook just put them in Instagram, put them on Facebook, and now we got the features that the kids like. So now we got stories to tell and stuff that nobody watches. But when you start looking at it from a business perspective and a marketing perspective, when you start talking about your organization and educating people on your organization or start inspiring people on your ministry, those stories are some of the most effective tools you can use. They only stay up for 24 hours, but again, people want to be, they want to see and connect with you daily. They want to be engaged daily. So again, and the reason that is back to that short attention span thing we were talking about. All right, the stuff you talk about today is great. I don't remember what you said yesterday. So not on purpose, I just don't. It just had so many things that inundated me. You know, they said we get hit with over 100,000 pieces of content a day. So it's hard to remember a lot. But again, when I talked about that whole consistency thing, if you're consistently putting out good content, people will become a part of your online community. Okay, go to the next one. All right, so the most important thing here that I talked about out of everything is mobile. Everything I talked about had a mobile component. The website, you need your mobile website. All right, multimedia, people consume video on mobile. E-commerce, mobile commerce is growing exponentially. And by that I mean online giving, online shopping, all from mobile devices. Matter of fact, mobile shopping is growing so much that people shop on Amazon while they're in Best Buy. So, and speaking of Amazon, even when we had what was considered a recession, Amazon had record numbers. And so what they do the year after that, they broke that record. Every year, Amazon has record numbers. And what grows more than anything? Their mobile division, on how people shop mobile on the go. All right? The average person checks their phone 150 times a day. That's average. That's probably us normal people. And I'm talking about teenagers and phone addicts and the crazy teen. I'm sorry, I got a preteen, and she just, man, I mean, goodness. So she don't have her phone anymore. We gave her a flip phone as a punishment. So, because she was acting a fool with her phone. See, and that's how you tell them new age parents, you know, I didn't have to, you know, pull out my belt. I'm like, oh, you take this flip phone. We're going to see how popular you are with this flip phone. So, yeah, you talk about act right. Boy, I'm telling you, my whole family is technical. I'm telling you, I met my wife online. Y'all remember Black Planet? I met my wife online. I kid you not. Now she's talking about get off the phone and spend quality time. Baby girl, if I wasn't on the internet, we wouldn't even be here today, okay? So, don't try and tell me to change up. Shoot, you knew what it was when you met me, when you slid in my DMs, okay? But tell you all that to say mobile is taking over the world. And I want you to think mobile first, okay? It took radio 50 years. No, it took radio 38 years to get to 50 million users. It took TV 13 years to get to 50 million users. It took the internet 4 years. It took mobile 2 years. An app or a viral video can do it in days now. So when I talk about everything, I'm talking about think mobile first. All right? The average time we spend on our phone in a day is 3 hours, at least. And again, these numbers seem really low to me. Really low, especially for the fact of, I don't know if y'all, how y'all got here, I don't know if y'all, when y'all be driving, y'all watch people, but people who actually don't let their phone go and are watching their phone while they're driving, those people make me nervous until I realize I'm doing it too. But I'm saying people who do not put their phones down. So when I'm talking about thinking about a digital strategy, how can you reach people who won't even put their phone down to drive? Is your content mobile accessible? Go to the next one. But the question comes down to mobile website versus mobile app. Because we got to think about how we invest. Well, if you did your website correctly, it'd be mobile responsive, so you already got the mobile website. And you can see it on as many devices as possible. But you want a mobile app, you want to create a mobile app, of course, when you want to grow on your iOS and Android devices, because any other devices besides that don't matter. But also, you want more engagement and a more immersive experience. Facebook has a mobile website. It's cool. It's the reason they took out MySpace, because MySpace didn't adapt to mobile at all. But Facebook's app is one of the most downloaded apps ever because it's a more immersive experience when you're on Facebook. You can do everything you can do in the app on the mobile website, but we download the app because we're more connected with that, more engaged with that. So when you're thinking about, do you need an app for your business, then you got to think about what type of more immersive, engaged experience. Will you put exclusive content on there? Will you have some type of different experience on your app than you have on your website? That's the stuff you got to think about when you start figuring out, do I need an app and should I make that investment? Go to the next one. On average, people have 40 to 150 apps per device, okay? And again, one of the things we see as far as why people, organizations get apps, one of the key things is, now looking at it from the experience, which is good, but look at it for a way to stay connected with people. Push notifications. Now, if I want to send a message out to people who have my app installed, I can use push notifications. That's one of the key things that Pastor Groeschel didn't talk about yesterday. That YouVersion app is on 265 million devices. The most important part about that is 265 million people are possibly that they can connect with via push notifications. That normally you will see. Unless you turn them off, they will interrupt whatever you're doing. That's an effective marketing tool for that organization. So that's when you start looking at, how can I stay connected with my online users as opposed to just having an app to say I have it. Because push notifications, before they're turned off, they're read, like 96, 97% of the time. Just like, go next slide, just like SMS messages, texting. The reason that people tell you all the time, on your website, collect their email address, get their email address. But we know we have Gmail, Yahoo, other email providers that have spam filters built in. So now when you have an email campaign, if you get between 14 to 25% open rate, that's good. Until you realize if you have texting, if you have their phone numbers, people open text 96, 97% of the time. Because think about it. You know, how much email spam you get versus how much text spam you get. You don't give people your number unless you want them to have it. If you give an organizational number to stay connected with you via text, you want them to have it. Now, they get to texting you a whole bunch, and you're going to block them. And I ain't even got in a group text. Y'all know y'all been trapped in a group text. 15 people in there. One person actually trying to say something. 11 people keep saying, who this? Then y'all finally figure out who it is, and you finally get going. Then you got the last 2 or 3 people who hadn't checked their text in a couple of days. Now they come around talking about, who is this? Text group been going for 3 days. You done muted it. If you could delete it, that'd be much better. But I'm just saying, that's the fact is how effective it is as a marketing tool. You have to look at texting as a marketing tool for your organization. So when you're collecting emails, you have to look at how you can also collect mobile numbers, because SMS is a tool that people open a lot. We're looking more towards how often people open it as opposed to just having us getting emails because that's what all the marketers say to get. Okay, next one. Now, let's talk about the fun stuff. Let's talk about the future before we get into our Q&A. I talked about wearables, Internet of Things, mobile integrated cars, AR, VR. So let me give you guys some examples of what's coming in the future. If we look at the self-driving cars, okay? Y'all heard about self-driving cars? I believe, who's leading it? I think Tesla is leading the charge on that. Google actually had the jump on that. Okay, so think about your content like this. And for my priests out there, think about this. You have a message that you want somebody to watch. It's a 20-minute message, video, okay? And you want them to watch it. If they're in a self-driving car, then the way they can watch it is much different than how it was before. Because the thing is, if there's a video message, then either they have to listen to it, or if they try and watch it while they're driving, which most people probably would, that's just unsafe. But the key thing is, if you're in a self-driving car, you no longer have to worry about the windows and watching where you're going because the car is driving. It would be much safer because the cars, you take the humans out of the equation, there'd be less accidents. But now those windows can turn into screens. So now you have their full attention while they're driving. So when we're going to work and we listen to podcasts or audiobooks and stuff like that, well, now what if those were video? Because now I'm sitting there watching the message while the car is driving me to work. Now my attention span is different. Now I can be more productive. Now that time is given back to me. That's basically what technology is doing as we start to understand it. It's giving us back time, which is the most valuable currency we have in life. So when you start to think about how you're going to reach these people, you need to pay attention to how the self-driving cars are coming along, because now you'll start looking at how we can take messages to people while we have their attention in these cars that they no longer have to pay attention to as far as the road. All right? If we're looking at AR and VR, augmented reality and virtual reality. Augmented reality, real quick. Anybody remember the Pokemon Go that came out and people were out trying to chase digital Pokemon in the traffic? Like literally, these things do not exist in the real world. People are walking out in traffic with their phones trying to chase them. But you got to think about that for a second. They put a digital layer on reality, took online and put it on top of offline, to the point where the generations that are coming up are now going to look at, there's no online, there's no offline, the lines are blurring. It'll just be. It'll just be life. We know what happens online affects offline. We know what happens offline affects online. You know, from the negative aspect, you said something about me online, now we're going to fight offline. We've seen it happen, okay? But as the future comes, you're going to see where there's not going to be a difference between what happens online and offline. And so when you start thinking about augmented reality, think about this. Let me give you an example that I gave to a pastor out in Sacramento, that even they could do up here if Dr. Winston could do it as well. But imagine if Dr. Winston was preaching about the parables, okay? And for augmented reality, you know, we'll say we got these glasses instead as opposed to our phones, but even if you had your phone holding up as well. But as he's preaching about the parables, they're being acted out next to him over here. Now that sermon becomes much more immersive. That sermon holds your attention. That sermon is much more engaging, because as he's talking, instead of you visualizing how it plays out, you're watching it play out. And so that's the type of experience we're going to have. About 3-4 years back, Coachella did a Tupac hologram, you know, where they had Tupac perform at the particular event. But when you start thinking about holograms and stuff like that, when you start integrating those holograms and those digital stuff with actual stuff that's happening in the offline space, and you're syncing them, like when Snoop did the concert with Tupac, then you start to see that there's so many different opportunities for our organizations to figure out how to integrate our content into this new augmented reality. Now, don't let me know if I lose y'all, because I'm telling y'all, this is the stuff that's coming, and I need y'all to understand this and the way you could communicate in these spaces. And lastly, one of the key things before we get into our Q&A, because I want to give you all definitely time to ask questions, one of the key things is I went through a lot of stuff today, and there's a lot more I could go to, but I want to give y'all a chance to ask questions, because I didn't do that for the last session. Went through a lot of stuff today, but the key thing is you don't have to do everything that I laid out today, but I need you to do something. All right? If nothing else, analytics. All right? Do something. Now, the last thing, the website, so you can get all the stuff I talked about today in this presentation. CastonDigital.com/survey. CastonDigital.com/survey. Caston. Yep, like Jason Caston. CastonDigital.com/survey. Yes, CASTON digital.com/survey. That's the web link. When you go there, fill it out. It's a few questions I'll ask, and the email that you'll get will have 2 books, 2 videos, and this presentation, I believe. Or maybe it's 5 videos. Absolutely. CastonDigital.com, CASTON digital.com/survey. Now, do we have the mics for the questions? Okay, good. Are there any questions that you all may have? Okay, cool. Here we go.
My question is regarding security with shopping. And even doing business online with the hacking and everything, how might a business organization really develop good security from hackers? And even like with the uses of driverless cars and right, how would you really get good security from hackers?
Okay, good security from hackers. Now, so I'll use the online shopping process, and we'll talk about your website. Now, two things. One, as far as security, depending on the third-party solution you choose, like a Shopify or something, they have all the security built in for you. That's one of the reasons you choose third-party providers for services like that, because as they innovate, you pay a monthly fee, say $79 a month, and all those innovation securities are come for you, so you don't have to have an IT guy doing that for you. But let's say you have a website, and you need security for your website. If you have your own website on like GoDaddy or something like that, and you're using, I'll say WordPress, for example, you need to have a plugin like WordFence that has all those security features built in. WordFence. WordFence, F-E-N-C-E, WordFence. That's just the plugin. But again, for whatever platform you're utilizing, you need to have either some type of security features already built in when you purchase the product, or you need to add them to it. So again, for websites like WordPress, you have WordFence. If you don't have any type of, let's say you just build a regular website off of HTML, then you need to get an SSL certificate and make it easier that way. If you're, SSL certificate is a secure socket layer certificate. So that's what you would need to have that. If you're using an online shopping cart software, they should have all that built in for you. If they don't, find another software. Yes.
Thank you so much for this great information.
Hey.
Oh my, and just introducing us to the future from a hologram standpoint. How if we're watching everything with our eyes and we're not really doing a lot of research, with our minds and thinking because we're punching numbers, and how is that helping us be more intelligent? Is everything going to be doing it for us, or do you understand my question?
I do understand your question. Okay, so think about, let's take it to the future where you're talking about wearing the glasses where you have all this information, you have this augmented reality all built up. Okay, so critical thinking skills, or thinking for yourself. If we look at it now, where we don't have those type of things built in, but it's coming, the majority of people don't think for themselves now. So basically, that's why we have the stuff like fake news and social media, being able to put something on social media and people run with it. Even we've seen on Facebook where you tell your friend, like, hey man, this is fake. You just posted this and now you got 16 likes. And it's like, dude, this is fake. Did you even read it? So the thing is, critical thinking skills are still going to have to be taught person to person, or hopefully in some type of organized environment like JBS, the business school, something like that. Those critical thinking skills are still not going to be as popular as we want as people start to follow whatever is, the current, I guess, thing to do at the moment. When you add the digital layer to it, then basically you're going to have companies who are running the digital, like say a Google or something, start to influence what people think, like we do on Facebook, where your newsfeed is catered to you, or your Google search results are catered to you. So people are always going to do that as far as go along with what they see, but critical thinking skills are always going to be at a premium. And so, how do we fix that? Well, that's the each one, teach one. So that's the only way we can do it. Absolutely. Yes.
Hi, my name's Linda. Thank you for the information. So my question is two parts. Currently, I use a application called Buffer that allows me to post to multiple social media sites simultaneously. So oftentimes I set up my post in advance and I schedule it to post. However, my schedule sometimes will get me off, and where I may not get an opportunity to have something in my status or posting every day.
Okay.
Does social media, Instagram, and the other platforms, do they hold that against me in terms of circulation of my information, to the audiences? based on my frequency. So if I don't post this week and I post like every other week or every other day, is that held against me as a marketer? You understand my question?
Okay, it's two things. One, your frequency, and then the other thing I heard was, well, first was buffer.com is the platform that you're talking about for everybody, buffer.com, that you can schedule out your posts. Two things that you said. One was you scheduling the post, so that means what time you post, and the second thing was the frequency that you post, or consistency is the question. Okay, two. Okay, so one, the frequency as far as when you post is not as important as it was before, because when you open up your Facebook feed, even your Instagram feed now, or your Twitter feed, it's not in chronological order. They put it in the order of engagement, or what they think you want to see, importance, based on what you've looked at before, what you've liked before, how you've engaged with things before. So as far as what time you post is not as important as it was before. Okay. The second thing you said, though, about consistency and frequency, yes, that is important. They will hold that against you because you need to consistently put out this content. If not daily, then even more frequent. Now, if you're not able to do that, then you need to figure out what is the strategy that you need to come up with that you can develop content or delegate content to how you can have content more consistently than what you currently have. But again, so to answer your question, are you penalized for that? Yes.
Wow. So because I used to be concerned that I would oversaturate my audience. So are you saying that it's even good to post multiple times of the day?
Well, it depends on what platform now.
Okay.
So again, I'm giving you a general as far as posting consistently, but that doesn't mean 35 posts on Facebook. Nobody's going to look at that. Okay. What you need to look at is your analytics.
Okay.
If you're looking at your analytics and you post one time a day and you see what the analytics have, then you post twice a day and look at your analytics and see how much engagement did you have, and then that way you can tell which one is better for you. So, but if you're not looking at the analytics and kind of just winging it, then that's not a good thing to do. All right, no problem. Who else we got?
Very quickly, we are starting to develop a D2 Learn program, and several people talk to me that the importance of to have besides the material that we provide, the written material, we need to have the classes recorded. And so this is not only important because they see the faculty, they see the people teaching, and could help them to understand, but this is something that creates more credibility. What's your opinion about that?
I need you to turn them up. I didn't hear the last part of that at all.
What I said is this: when you have a recorded classes plus the written material that you provided to the students, somebody says that creates more credibility for your training sessions, and also could be easier to help the students to understand what they are doing. What do you think about it? Is it so important to have the classes recorded or just the written material? That's the key point.
Oh, so recorded versus reading material? Okay, cool, got it. All right. So with people who learn differently, as far as reading material versus, we're looking at auditory versus visual, and then let me see. So I think we said video versus reading, right? Okay, cool. All right, so as far as what I think about that, I think you should have all those, all inclusive. I think you should even add audio as well, because people learn different ways. So some people are very visual, and the more they see what's going on as far as seeing the lesson as well as hearing it, stimulates them differently as opposed to the people who are reading. Now, to say all that to say that basically you're looking at what's the most effective way to reach people on the level that they're on and not force them to conform to the way you want to teach. And so if you put all that information out there in the way that they can, multiple ways, then you'll reach as many people as possible. So I think that you should do all-inclusive. Good question.
My name is Courtney Wright. I actually have a business where I develop software, websites, mobile apps. You made a comment about on when it comes to mobile applications, or that the mobile apps would be more immersive versus mobile websites. Why do you think that is? Because, see, it's been my experience that actually a lot of mobile apps where you have an icon on that screen that people can click is actually just a website behind that icon.
Yeah.
Right? So, because that's an easy way to develop them. So
yeah.
Why would the mobile app be more immersive than the mobile website?
Okay, cool, got it. We got 2 more questions over here, and then they told me we're out of time, so I'll answer this. Okay, so one, the easiest way to make an app, the easy way out is just make it a mobile website and put an app button on it. So that's the easy way, and there's a lot of developers that do that. The apps that I'm talking about are different than that. So the apps that I'm talking about start to become more than just to say I have an app, but to add a more immersive experience. So the reason I say that is because when you're looking at your mobile app strategy, I'm saying think bigger than just saying I want to put this website into app format. So as far as companies that do that, I mean, I'm not knocking, however they want to make their money, they can do what they want to do, but that I don't consider that a mobile app because, again, that app is inaccessible once you get rid of the internet. But the thing is, it's about, what can you do if there was no internet around? And then also, too, what makes the app different from having a website because it becomes an investment. If I'm going to pay money for an app as an organization, I needed to do something different than what my website can already do. So that's why I said that. But I have seen apps that do that, and that in itself, to me, unfortunately, seems like a cash grab. Okay, who we got?
At a macro level, in your broad-based strategy, where does LinkedIn fit in, if at all?
I'm sorry, I missed that one. Say it again.
At a macro level, you gave us kind of like the highlights of a good strategy, the flow. Where does LinkedIn fit in, if at all?
Oh, LinkedIn, great. LinkedIn fits in as far as a social media strategy in that LinkedIn, I think, had 261 million users. When you're looking at LinkedIn and how you're reaching them, LinkedIn obviously is a more professional environment, people that are looking to stay connected, but they originally thought it was just about, jobs. Okay, and LinkedIn does come off as a professional environment, but the more social features that they built in, it became something where you could talk about more than just jobs. You actually could talk about different things and grow your business. So as far as LinkedIn, I think that LinkedIn is an important platform to use. Only reason I didn't put LinkedIn in there as far as a strategy is because as far as the features that I want to see LinkedIn implement to make it easier to push information out, advertise on there, increase engagement, they're on their way, they're just not there yet. So that was the only thing. But I will not count out LinkedIn, and I've utilized LinkedIn as a networking tool and as a marketing tool, and their advertising platform is growing now because they see there's money in that, but LinkedIn is effective. Absolutely. Okay, last question.
This last question.
Oh, we got one more? Okay.
Well, my name is Elijah Priestley, and I just wanted to ask, can you look on other people's progress and see how they're going and know how many people frequently come through there so you can get the best out of your money by putting your icon on their page or whatever?
Putting their icon on their page. So is that something you're trying to do?
To get the most out of your money, you want to find a page or the place where people are looking it up very frequently.
Oh, okay. Well, it depends. It's 2 ways you can go about that. When you're looking at advertising at a place where people are most frequenting, you can put ads on people's websites, kind of like you're saying, or your icon or something like that. The most effective way to reach people in any type of advertising that we've seen in our lifetime is targeted Facebook ads. There's nothing more effective than that. So let's say the website you're talking about has 100,000 users coming to it. The only problem with that is, one, if they come to that website and they're looking for content on that website, will that ad be intrusive or will it be seamless as part of their overall internet experience? Because when I'm going to ESPN, I'm going to look for sports, not necessarily something else that they put on there. But with Facebook ads, because of how targeted you can get and how you can go after the particular people that you want to look at your ad or whatever you're trying to get them to do, whatever your product is or anything like that, you can target the people down to the demographic of age, job, or any type of characteristic that you could come up with, geolocation, all that. So when I look at targeting online ads or any type of online ads, I would say Facebook is most effective. Can you do what you do? Yes, if you talk to the website and ask them about that. But there's nothing more effective than Facebook ads. So, cool. All right, so with that, they hit me with the wrap it up music. So, I appreciate all y'all for coming out. I want to say the last thing before I get off stage is, again, I talked about it earlier and I'm going to say it again. My mentor is over there. He brought me here in 2007. I was sitting out here with y'all, and he just got to watch me speak from the main stage. So when I say I appreciate y'all for coming out, so he actually saw people wanted to hear what I had to say, which is actually cool. But I'm telling y'all, find somebody to pour into your life, because you don't know where you're going to be in the future and what type of path you're going to walk. So definitely find somebody and continue to enjoy everything that you're doing. And thank y'all for coming to watch me speak.